Well, hello, hello. I have a question for you. I'd like to start my videos with a question. How many of you were taught in your childhood to tell people, tell the public about your pain, about your troubles, about the things that were going wrong in your life? How many? Like maybe, I know for me, no, not at all. Actually, I was taught the opposite. Don't air your dirty laundry. I was taught not to talk about the things that were going wrong in my household or, personally. So my blog today, I tell this story about vulnerability and credibility that I learned from a woman named Heidi Parr about 20 years ago. She was my sales coach. And she taught me about the 5 points of pain, which sounded awful when I first learned about them. I'm like, wow, okay. I am a pretty happy person. I like to share my happy stories. But I really got clear as I went forward in promoting my business. Actually, it was a lot about my business and being a coach. I learned that telling the stories, the personal pain, it not only became a lot easier, but I found that it connected me with people, the people I most wanted to reach. And so I'm going to tell you the story. It's in the blog, but I thought, let's tell the story. This is not as emotional as some stories might be personal, because this one is about a public failure that I had in my business, maybe let's say 15, 16 years ago. So my first niche was engaged couples. So I had a program I called the Queen of Hearts wedding program. I had a playing deck, Staying Engaged, it was called. And I was at the time recovering from my own divorce. And I was taking that pain and really wanting to help people who were in that same position like I had been before I got married, like actually help them see what might work better as they went into a marriage than the way I had gone into it. I had big visions for myself. I was going to save these people. I loved to work. I had visions of being on Oprah. And then I got this great idea. I joined a wedding planners association. So just a little side with that. I'm telling you, it was the best networking I ever did. It was actually effective. I ended up teaching my program to to a Catholic church premarital program. That was really fun. But they had wedding receptions at the networking event. Super great. So I got encouraged from that to go and rent a booth at a wedding show. I paid big dollars for it. I had a book at the time. It's not just a wedding, it's your life. I took my cards. I had a description of my program. I'm telling you, I went all out. I was so excited. And then as the day wore on at the wedding show, I noticed that people were avoiding my booth like the plague. And now I actually know what that phrase means. Avoiding things like the plague. So at one point, I got so desperate just to talk to someone that I went out into the middle of the floor with my playing cards. It's something probably left over from selling fruit with my first marriage. That was one of the things we did at farmers markets. You went out and gave a taster. So I went out. I was literally walking up to these brides to be and saying, "Hey, just love to talk to you." And wow, I walked the other way, except for some moms of the brides, and they told me, "Oh my gosh, honey, my daughter should take your program." But her focus is on the dress, right? So I went to, this is like that was painful. That was painful. I was like, oh God, I didn't know. Am I just terrible at this thing, this coaching business thing? But I got some training. I did that. I've done that quite a few times, luckily, which has helped me succeed to where I am now. And the teacher, I swear this is a true story. The teacher said he was giving examples of bad niches. Like, okay, he was expanding my horizons on needing to know about the pain. But he said, here's some examples of some niches that would never work. And he used engaged couples as one, because he said, yeah, they might be in pain, but they are not looking for your help. So I first got embarrassed in front of the room at the wedding planning, and then that was kind of a second layer of ouch. So I slowly let go of that niche. And I'm going to tell you though, here's some real hope. If you have a niche that's not working out for you, here's some hope. Because I found I kind of transferred a lot of that, the teaching and the program and what I wanted people to know. First, I started working with single women. That was really helpful. Then I got so excited to work with entrepreneurs because the more I worked around my own niche and marketing and got business, I got, oh, this is really fun. And I found that it's a lot like people getting married. There are things that we have to learn up front so you don't make mistakes. And then there's the 7-year itch with a business relationship. You're like, there's some things that are not going so well. And the cool thing, so I'm kind of segueing here. If you're watching this whole video, congratulations. And going from, it's really important to talk about the pain. It's important as humans and as coaches, we have to really get our own learning and share that with people. But there's also a piece here around when you iterate your way in business, everything is useful. So that program I did that I was embarrassed about, I became a interfaith minister and I started doing weddings, and guess what? I got to use it for my premarital program. So no matter kind of where that you are and you have stories to tell, there's going to be a use for the people in the world, and you're going to find a way to connect with people that works for you and your business. So don't despair if you failed. Learn from your failure. Ask yourself, what can you bring forward? That's part of what we want to share with people, is that we've had pain, we've had made mistakes, done all kinds of stupid things, and there's ways that we find it useful. And I found that disaster probably was one of the biggest learning points for me, so much so that I'm writing another blog next week about it. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, that's where we connect with people. That's where that heart to heart connection really happens, right? Whether you're in business or just simply a human doing your best in this world. Okay, bye for now.